Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside Royal Brougham Pavilion in Seattle, Washington. I'm Greg Sexton, and tonight we have a doubleheader coming up here, as we will tomorrow as well. The Azusa Pacific University Cougars getting set to take on the Cal Poly University Pomona Broncos in the first matchup tonight. Seattle Pacific will host Chico State coming up later at 7:30. But this first matchup between a couple of teams that had losing records last year, but have had a lot of success. And Azusa Pacific, I said that I mentioned they had a losing record last year, but they made a run into the tournament as they won their conference tournament as the 6th seed. They beat on 3 consecutive days. They beat the 3 seed, the 2 seed, and the 1 seed. The 1 seed was Point Loma, and they were the host as well. And Azusa Pacific caught fire at the right time and beat Point Loma in that conference championship game, and then won a couple of games in the tournament. Cal Poly Pomona last year did not make the tournament out of the CCAA. Azusa Pacific is picked to finish 4th, or they're tied in the preseason poll for the Pac West. With Hawaii Hilo. There's 14 teams in the Pac West. Cal Poly Pomona picked 7th out of 12 in the CCAA, the California Collegiate Athletic Association. And they won a D2 championship in 2010. Greg Kamansky is in his 24th season as the head coach there. And he has a .687 winning percentage, so he's had a ton of success. Last 2 years has had losing records. They made their last tournament appearance in 2022. Starting lineups for Cal Poly Pomona, Jaden Winfield is out of St. Louis, Missouri. Shaheem Parm is out of San Bernardino, California. Caleb Nelson out of Carlsbad, California. Demarie Lewis Cooper out of Redding, California, as there is the opening tip. Kevin Semet out of Geneva, Switzerland. Here's Maui Z, who is a very familiar face here at Royal Brougham Pavilion. And the first shot goes up and in. And that is Chris Gales Jr., who was also a very familiar face to these Broncos, as he played for them the last 3 years and is a graduate transfer to Azusa Pacific. That shot goes up there from Shaheem Parm. And the rebound comes down to the Cougars. Maui Z at the controls. 2-0 Cougars here in the early going. Maui Z in the starting lineup for the Cougars, a graduate transfer from right here in Seattle Pacific University. And Ethan Speaker, that's Chris Gales with the ball. Ethan Speaker with the ball now, and he puts up the floater and leaves it short. He is out of Boulder City, Nevada. Chris Gales Jr. out of Palmdale, California. Jordan Hansen, also from here in Seattle, Washington, transferred from Idaho State. There's a 3 on the way from Lewis Cooper. And that puts the Broncos in front 3-2. Caleb Taylor also in the lineup for the Cougars. 6'11", 275 out of Arlington, Texas. And he's going to be a handful down low. Speaker gets it over to Hansen, and the shot misses. But an offensive board here for the Cougars. Here's Speaker trying to weave his way in between a couple of defenders. Ends up getting rid of it over for Gales, and Gales steps inside the arc and puts in the baseline jumper from about 15 feet out. And the Cougars back in front 4-3. Broncos in the front court. Here's Parm. Leaves it for the center, Semeth. And he puts it in. He's out of, as I mentioned, out of Geneva, Switzerland. Transferred from San Jose State. And the Broncos in front 5-4. First game for either of these teams. As the Cougars work it up to the top, Maui Z knocks down a 3, and he has done that plenty of times here in Royal Brougham Pavilion in the past. Very comfortable on this floor. in his first game in the 24-25 season. There's a three from Parm, and the Broncos go back in front, 8-7. The teams have already switched leads a few times here. Into the front court for Gales. Drops it back for Z. Under 17 minutes to play first half here from Seattle Pacific University. Z, double team, gets it to Gales. And into Taylor in the post. Taylor bumping on Semeth there and puts it up with the left hand, puts it in. Caleb Taylor puts the Cougars back in front. It's been back and forth here the first several possessions. Here's Parm, and that one's off the mark. Wide left, got a little bit of the rim. And the Cougars with the rebound. Speaker hands it off to Z. 9-8, Azusa Pacific with the lead. Azusa Pacific not going to see Seattle Pacific this weekend, but Seattle Pacific will be down in Azusa next weekend. And they will take on the Cougars there. Broncos with a sub as Malcolm Bell comes in. He's out of Diamond Bar, California. Sophomore. And he gets it now on the right wing. Steps back and just a little bit off the mark with that one. Semeth, though, the offensive rebound. And here's Parm with a wide open three from the top of the key. And he puts the Broncos back in front. It's 11-9. Both teams have had the lead a few times in this one. Here's Gales. Back out to Maui Z. I see Maui Z out there, and he just looks like he should still be in a Falcons uniform, but he's not. Z gets it out to Gales for the three off the back iron. No good. Broncos with the lead and the ball, up 11-9. Semeth will hand it off to Winfield. Here's Winfield, a pull-up jumper, and he puts that one in. Nothing but net from about 12 feet out on the left side. And the Broncos with a 4-point lead, largest lead for either team so far in this one. Not that we have gotten very far into this game. Still have not had a whistle in this one as we're past 5 minutes in. Here's Gales dumping it in the post to Taylor. Caleb Taylor, cross court for Speaker. Now Gales driving, and I believe they said he stepped out. This is going to result in a timeout. Either way, as 14:33 to go in the first half, 13-9. Cal Poly Pomona leads it. We'll be right back on the SPU webcast. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Broncos lead it over the Cougars 13-9. And the Broncos with possession here as Lewis Cooper will bring it across midcourt. He had a three in the early going. As Jordan Carpenter on the floor for the Broncos, as is Zach Broadus. Here's Carpenter getting to the bucket and laying it up and in. And he puts that one up over Michael Saba for the Cougars. Both teams with some subs on the floor after the timeout. This is still Jordan Hansen out there, and the Cougars with just the one sub in at the moment. Speaker with possession. Cougars down 6 here early on in the game. And there's Saba, and he gets that one to roll in and draws the foul. And Michael Saba to the free throw line. Redshirt sophomore out of Phoenix, Arizona. Saba will try to complete a 3-point play as Gales will check out and Charlie Geller will check in. Geller out of San Diego, California. He's a sophomore. And Michael Saba just into the game, gets the bucket and gets to the line. And the free throw off the back iron. Rebound to the Broncos. That's Carpenter. 15-11. Cal Poly Pomona with the lead. A quick three from the left wing by Zach Broadus, and it is no good. Cougars the other way. Maui Z. And now Geller with it, and it's poked away. It'll stay with the Cougars. As it'll be Hansen to inbound. Jordan Hansen, a local product from here in Seattle. Here's Z with a 3 on the way, and that one is no good. Speaker tried to wrestle away the rebound and lost it out of bounds. And Cal Poly Pomona will take it back. Parm will check in for Lewis Cooper. And it'll be Broncos ball with a 4-point lead. Just over 13 minutes to play here in the first half. First game of the season for either of these teams. And these teams really make a habit of playing each other in non-conference play in early November. Early to mid-November, I should say. Here's Parm. As these teams have seen a lot of each other. Backing down is Winfield. The step back, and he couldn't get it to go. The rebound comes down to Hansen, and he will be fouled in the backcourt. As the Broncos were trying to get back to it, but Jordan Carpenter called for a foul. Jordan Carpenter out of Round Rock, Texas, but he graduated from high school in Anaheim. Mentioned Winfield out of St. Louis, Missouri, but graduated from high school in Riverside, California. I believe I mentioned that. Cougars with it. Down 4. 12:30 to go first half. Here's Ethan Speaker. And he will get it to Saba. Here's Speaker again. And it's knocked out of his hands from behind there. And here come the Broncos the other way. Taking it to the glass and laying it up and in is Malcolm Bell. Got the floater there off the window. And Malcolm Bell is on the board with his first 2 points in the ball game. And the Broncos with a 6-point lead. Under 12 to play. Maui Z hands off to Geller. They work it over to Speaker. And back to Z. Cougars are coached by Peter Bond. I mentioned Greg Kamansky for the Broncos. There's a 3 for Z. I should say a 3 for Z there. As PA announcer Mark Acut got excited about that one. Now is he playing on a different team now. Step inside the arc there, and the shot goes up, and an offensive rebound, and right back to Caleb Nelson, and he puts it up and in. And the Broncos lead it by 5. Nelson with his first 2 points of the ball game. And the Cougars the other way. That one off the mark. Did not draw iron. Broncos back the other direction. Parm hands off to Broadus. And now Bell with it. Broadus with control here. And the Broncos with a 5-point lead. Broadus leaves it short on the turnaround. And the Cougars with the rebound. getting to a point about Peter Bond being the head coach of the Cougars, but I don't believe he's in the building. I don't know if he made the trip up here to Seattle, as this is a 3 in from Charlie Geller, and the Cougars back within 2 at 19-17. Looks like Tim Anderson is the lead assistant, and he is acting as the head coach here tonight for the Azusa Pacific Cougars. 19-17, the Broncos lead the Cougars, 10:15 to go, first half. We'll be right back.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
10:15 to go, first half, as the Broncos just inbounded it, coming out of the timeout. And Parm with it. Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. And this is shot clock running down. Sameth turns around and Taylor swats it out of there. They tried to get the shot back up, and I believe that one did get off in time from Lewis Cooper, but it did not find the mark. Big block there from Caleb Taylor down low. And this one stolen away by Parm. He'll head back the other way. Parm all the way to the bucket and couldn't get it to go. Had to adjust in midair to get that shot up over Trevin Martin. And the Cougars back the other way. Jordan Hansen with it. Now Martin again. Speaker at the free throw line. Gets into the paint and just a little too strong, but the offensive rebound gets tapped out to Maui Z, and he knocks in a 3. And the Cougars take the lead back at 20-19 with 9 minutes to play in the first half. Maui Z a couple of threes in this one. Parm with 6 points and the ball right now. And this is going to be a 3 from Broadus, and it's off the mark. For the Cougars, Maui Z paces them with 6 points as well. So it's a player on each side with 6 points, Parm and Z. Speaker gets it out to Z. He'll drive, kick it back to Speaker, and it's off his hands. Here's Broadus the other way, and he'll lay it up and in. Trevin Martin tried to get back on defense, but Broadus got around him. And the Broncos back in front. 21-20. This has been a good ball game here. Both teams have shot the ball pretty well. Not a lot of fouls. Pretty fast-flowing game. This one stolen away. I was going to say not a lot of turnovers either, but there have been some. And the Broncos really have capitalized on turnovers more than the Cougars have to this point. Lewis Cooper with it. Gets it to Parm. And now Broadus drives baseline. We get a whistle. Did he step out? I think he did. It's a turnover back to the Cougars. 7:39 to go. We get to another timeout on the floor. 21-20, Cal Poly Pomona with the lead. We'll be right back.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. SPU coming up later against Chico State. They'll tip at 7:30 as long as this one doesn't go too long. So far, not a lot of stoppages in play. 2 fouls by the Broncos and just 1 by the Cougars. And Gale's back out on the floor for the Cougars. Here's Z. Over to Speaker. Speaker drives into a double team and puts up the shot, and it was contested, and it is off the mark. Broncos with the rebound. Cougars are trying to get Speaker going. Speaker saved that one in, and Cougars touched it so the Broncos can go into the backcourt to get it. Here's Miles Lewis. And Winfield back to Lewis. Here's Winfield trying to step inside Z. There, Lewis Cooper off the glass and in. Demarie Lewis Cooper trying to beat the shot clock there. And had a couple seconds to spare, but got it up on the glass and in. And the Broncos lead by 3. Now Z finds Hansen driving to the bucket. And Taylor there trying to clean it up and couldn't get the second chance to go. Now a steal, and the Cougars get it right back. Down 3. Now Z calling a play. Speaker will get it to Gales. Gales, the former Bronco for the last 3 years. And now Z, the former SPU Falcon. Here's a 3 on the way from the left wing by Jordan Hansen. And we're tied at 23. Good ball game here. First game of the season for both of these teams. The GNAC, the Great Northwest Athletic Conference, the Pac West, and the CCAA make up the West region. And so these 3 conferences, as Smith got caught up in the air there and walked with the basketball, Cougars will get it back. As Jordan Carpenter will come back in. He'll come get Smith. As back to my point on the West region, the 3 conferences that make up the West region really schedule a lot of non-conference games against each other. And as I mentioned, Azusa Pacific, Cal Poly Pomona, very familiar with each other, very familiar with Chico State and Seattle Pacific University. Western Washington University has played some of these teams quite a bit in recent years as well. They will be down in Azusa next week with the Falcons. As this one knocked away. They refer to this tournament mini tournament as that one called against they're going to give the Cougars the ball. Jordan Carpenter was sure that it was the Broncos ball, but didn't go. The call didn't go that way. They'll give it to Chris Gales and the Cougars as we're under 5 to play here in the first half. So Maui Z back in his old gym tonight and tomorrow, as there's a three from Michael Saba. And it's 26-23 Cougars in front. But Maui Z going to get to see his old team down in Azusa next weekend. This is Winfield stepping into the lane, putting it up and in. The floater from Jaden Winfield. And he's got 4 points in the ball game. 26-25, Cougars with the lead. Gales coming across midcourt. Cross-court pass for Saba. He's cut off. He'll get it back to Gales. Over to Hansen for a three, and that one's off the mark. And the rebound ends up in the hands of Caleb Nelson for the Broncos. Under 4 to play in the first half. Really not that high scoring of a game, but it seems like both teams have shot it fairly well. We can check on the shooting percentages. As this is Miles Lewis. And a three on the way from the corner by Jaden Winfield is off the mark. And the Cougars with the rebound back the other way. Both teams shooting it at 48% now, which is pretty solid for a first game of the season. This one in the post to Caleb Taylor. He's double teamed. He gets it up on the glass anyway, but he misses the shot. And the rebound to Caleb Nelson. Nelson now going to take the three in transition, and that one's off the back iron. Maui Z gets in there for the rebound. And the Cougars back the other way with a 1 point lead. Z will slow things down. Saba draws the foul. And this will take us to our final media timeout of the first half. They're going to get a foul on Demarai Lewis-Cooper for Cal Poly Pomona. We'll be right back. 26-25, Cougars with the lead. 2:42 to play first half. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. Good ball game here between these two teams. 26-25 as Azusa Pacific leads Cal Poly Pomona. A lot of lead changes in this one. 10 lead changes, as a matter of fact, here in the first half. As this one into the backcourt, and Charlie Geller will go back to get it. Geller will get a screen from Z, and now he'll get the ball to Saba. Back to Maui Z. Maui Z has seen a lot of the court here in the first half. Gets it nicely to Ethan Speaker, who is there to jam it down with two hands. And there's the highlight of the first half so far. Our first dunk either way. As Maui Z with a great assist there to Speaker. And Speaker puts it down with both hands. Here is Winfield getting to the bucket, and he lays it up and in over the front rim. Winfield now with 6 points. Saba will get it to Geller, and now Z with it. For Ethan Speaker, his first 2 points of the ball game, he's been involved in the offense, but Hasn't been able to connect until that one. There's Maui Zia, 3 on the way. And he's right back in his previous home gym. And he's got 12 points here in the first half. 31-27 Cougars. This is Broadus. Gets it to Parm. He'll hand off to Lewis Cooper. And now a 3 on the way from Winfield from the right corner, and he puts it up and in. Jordan Carpenter out there on the floor as well for the Broncos, as they are now back within 2. Cross-court pass to Geller. Geller finds Hansen, a left wing 3, and that one is off the mark. Saba got to the rebound there, and we're gonna get a foul. And let's see. It'll be on the Broncos. And that one is going to go on Lewis Cooper. He is the first player on either team to pick up 2 fouls in this game. And we're inside a minute to play in the first half. Just the 4th team foul on the Cougars, on the Broncos rather. Cougars just have 1. So teams have just kind of gotten into their respective offenses, and this has not been a terribly physical game to this point. Just getting their first game of the season going here. And the Cougars with a 30-28. Let's see here. Might have been reviewing. It's 30-29. Cougars with the lead. On the live stats, they have 31-30. But on the scoreboard, they have 30-29. Now, they have 31-30 on the scoreboard for Cal Poly Pomona. And they're going to get this sorted out here. As we have, the officials are going to take some time to review this here with the official score. It's again the first game of the year, and so they're trying to work out the kinks. Now they have on the scoreboard and the live stats 31-30 Azusa Pacific, and believe that is correct. They were up by 4, and Jaden Winfield hit a 3. It's 31-30. Cougars with the lead. Here is Hansen, and Speaker got a second crack at it there, but neither one of them were able to get it to go down. And the Broncos back the other way, trying to retake the lead. Here is Parm stepping into a 3, and that one rims out. And we get a whistle on the rebound. And that one is going to go against Charlie Geller. Just the second foul on the Cougars here in the first half. And so the Broncos will take it out underneath the basket. 37.1 left. And Parm was going to inbound, but now Greg Kamansky rather, wants to talk things over with the Broncos, and so we will keep it here. This will be a 30-second timeout as the official comes over and makes sure that everybody is standing. Just a 30-second timeout here. 31-30, Cougars with the lead. Both teams now shooting 46% from the floor. 36% beyond the arc for the Broncos and 50% beyond the arc for the Cougars. And Maui Z's had a lot to do with that. Broncos have out-rebounded the Cougars 15-14. This has really been a pretty evenly played game. Each team has had the lead for at least 7 minutes. 10 lead changes in this one. And the Broncos trying to get the lead back. This one poked out of bounds by Speaker. And the Broncos will keep it. as Jaden Winfield has 9 points for Cal Poly Pomona, and Shaheem Parm with 6. And for Azusa Pacific, Maui Z with 12. 5 for Michael Saba. Here's Parm driving baseline. Shot clock running down, and Maui Z is going to steal this one. And he's going to have an open path to the bucket, and he will lay it up and in. And the Cougars take a timeout with 12.3 left on the clock. 33-30 as Maui Z came away with the steal and took it down to the other end. Again, a 30-second timeout. Chris Gales will check back in, as will Demarie Lewis Cooper. Gales for the Cougars and Lewis Cooper for the Broncos. As the Cougars got a bucket there on a turnover. So we look at turnovers are just 6 for the Cougars and 5 for the Broncos. Points off turnovers, 9 for the Broncos and 8 for the Cougars. So not a big disparity either way there in turnovers or points off turnovers. It'll be Lewis Cooper to get it to Winfield. Sameth is out there running out of time, and a 3 put up by Lewis Cooper, and he knocks it down. He had to get that one up, and he ties the score at halftime. It's 33-33. Big shot by Demarie Lewis Cooper to end the first half and tie this game. And this really has been a back-and-forth first half. Both teams shooting it pretty well. Demarie Lewis Cooper with the desperation 3 there, and he knocks it down. Now both teams shooting 48% here in the first half. And Lewis Cooper there with that last 3. That gives him 8 points for the Broncos. And as I mentioned, Jaden Winfield with 9 for Azusa Pacific. Maui Z with now 14 in the first half. And Michael Saba, the next player down with 5. Not a ton of points really for the Cougars from anyone other than Maui Z. They've had 7 players score in the first half, and the Broncos have had 8 players get on the scoreboard. 33-33, we're all knotted up at halftime, and we are going to step aside for a few minutes here, about 10-ish, and we will be back with a recap of the first half and get you ready for second half action coming up in a little bit here on the SP webcast.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
Welcome back inside Royal Bruin Pavilion. Greg Sexton with you at halftime here between Azusa Pacific and Cal Poly Pomona. Teams are deadlocked at 33, and both teams shot 48% in that first half. The Cougars just a little better beyond the arc at 50%. The Broncos at 42%. Broncos out-rebound the Cougars 15-14. And really a lot of the stats pretty even. 10 lead changes in that first half. Each team led for almost at least 8 minutes. The Cougars, led for 7:55 in the first half. The Broncos led for 10 minutes and 27 seconds. So both teams with the lead quite a bit in that first half. Turnovers look pretty even, 6-5. Cougars with 6, the Broncos with 5. And then points off turnovers, Broncos with 9, Cougars with 8. Broncos had 16 points in the paint to just 8 for the Cougars. That's about the biggest discrepancy I can find in these team stats. For Azusa Pacific, Maui Z from the beyond the arc went 4 of 5. 5 of 6 overall from the floor. 83% from the floor, 80% beyond the arc. He had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. Back in his first game in Royal Brougham as a visitor. And so he really was the player of the half for the Cougars, as Michael Saba had 5 points off the bench. Ethan Speaker had 2 points and 4 rebounds, and he had that dunk with the assist to Maui Z. With Cal Poly Pomona, it was a 3 by Demarai Lewis Cooper to end the half. He went 3 of 4 in that first half, 2 of 3 beyond the arc. And he had 8 points. 9 for Jaden Winfield. He shot 4 out of 6 from the floor, 1 out of 2 beyond the arc. And he had a rebound and an assist as well. And the Broncos also get 6 points from Shaheem Parm, who was 2 of 6 from the floor and had an assist and a steal as well. Second half coming up, and coming up later on tonight, the Seattle Pacific University Falcons will be hosting the Chico State University Wildcats, as those teams waiting. Chico State waiting. I think SPU's back in the locker room. But a lot of games in action tonight around both of these conferences. Some of these conferences matching up against each other, and of course some with matching up with the GNAC as well. Another team that's going to be here on Monday is Cal State Dominguez Hills, and they're picked to win the CCAA as shot goes up and it's off the mark. And the Cougars, Maui Z played all 20 minutes in the first half, and Jordan Hansen did as well for Azusa Pacific. This one inside to Caleb Taylor. He'll kick it out to Hansen, and they move it around the arc, do the Cougars. Taylor, and I think I was deflected, it was, by the Broncos, as Kevin Smith got a hand on it. 9 on the shot clock. Dominguez Hills is in Bellingham, Washington tonight, playing the Western Washington Vikings. This is Caleb Taylor getting to the bucket and laying it up and in, and the Cougars go in front first here in the second half at 35-33. So the Falcons are going to see Chico State tonight. They'll see Cal Poly Pomona tomorrow night, and then they will see Dominguez Hills on Monday night, and then they'll have an exhibition. I believe it's an exhibition game at the University of Washington on Wednesday night. So a lot of games coming up here for the Falcons, as that shot is off the mark by Lewis Cooper, but the Broncos get the rebound, and Parm knocks one down from behind the arc, and the Broncos retake the lead 36-35. This has been a tight ball game all the way, as the Cougars now, and they're going to get a foul on Winfield, as Z was trying to stay in bounds. The largest lead for the Broncos is 6. The largest lead for the Cougars is 4. And another couple of lead changes here in the second half to start this off. As here's a 3 in transition, and that one well off the mark by Caleb Nelson. And the Cougars with a rebound back the other way. Taylor gets tripped up, no call. Here's Gales. Cross court for Hansen. And now Z with it on the left wing. Gets a screen from Taylor. Trying to pick and roll, but now he's going to go to Hansen instead. And Hansen knocks down the 3. Jordan Hansen, the local product out of Seattle. Transferred from Idaho State. Jordan Hansen with 6 points in the ballgame. And the Cougars back out to a 2-point lead. Lewis Cooper in the post for Semeth. And a 3 from the corner by Nelson. Caleb Nelson knocks down the 3, and the Broncos go back in front at 39-38. Speaker to Taylor. He'll kick it back out to Gales. And the Cougars set up a possession here. Speaker will get it in the post to Taylor, and he draws the foul. That's something we didn't see a lot of in the first half, was fouls on either team. First foul on Kevin Semeth. And Caleb Taylor to the free throw line. Taylor out of Arlington, Texas, misses the first free throw. No free throws yet in the game for the Broncos. And neither team has made a free throw. This one down low. Lewis Cooper gets to it. Should say, neither team has made a free throw, as Sabo was 0 of 1 in the first half, and Taylor just went 0 for 2 there. And Cal Poly Pomona has yet to attempt a free throw. And they will here, as Jaden Winfield shaking out the right arm will get to the free throw line and try to get into double figures in points. There's 10 for him. Broadus back in for the Broncos. Geller and Saba back in for the Cougars. And Winfield back to the stripe and misses on the second one. Saba looked like he slipped a little bit there. He's okay. Broncos up by 2, 40-38, as Jaden Winfield goes 1 of 2 at the line. Here's Geller. Gets it to Gales. He'll kick it back out. Z with it, being guarded by Parm. Z's got to make something happen, and he throws it away. Here's Winfield back the other way. Steps through the attempt there at a steal by Speaker, and Winfield lays it up and in. And we'll get a timeout called here with 15:39 to play. This is a timeout by Cal Poly Pomona, it looks like, as they got the bucket, they got the 4-point lead, and they call the timeout as well. We'll be back on the SP webcast in just a moment. 42-38, the Cal Poly Pomona, Cal Poly Pomona. 15:39 to play in regulation. I say regulation because this one has been tight all the way. And you never know if the first game of the season could go to OT. But this one looks like it's going to stay tight down the stretch. Still a long way to go here. 15:39 left, 42-38. Cal Poly Pomona with the lead. Neither team has really been able to make a very long scoring run. And maybe one or the other team can do that and may pull away. But this has been a tight ball game. Maui Z for the Cougars. Gets it to Ethan Speaker. Speaker will drive, and he'll hook it up off the glass, and that one rims off. Parm the other way. Gets it to Broadus. And now the Broncos work it around the perimeter. And they do it again as they got baseline there. But here's Broadus going to take a three, and that one off the mark. And the rebound down to Charlie Geller for the Cougars. Under 15 to play. Here's Z, a deep three from the right wing, and he puts it in. Maui Z can knock those down. He gets the Cougars back to within one. And that is 17 points for the graduate transfer from Seattle Pacific. Jaden Winfield puts it up and leaves it short. Broadus got the rebound, and they're going to get a foul, I believe, against Geller. That'll be his second. Each team with 2 team fouls here in the second half. And the Broncos clinging to a 1-point lead. And here's Parm. Here's a three on the way from Nelson, and that one did not draw iron, but Armstrong, Carpenter rather. I've been doing some games lately. Jordan Carpenter got the rebound there, and he gets to the free throw line. We're doing volleyball last night, and Simon Fraser had a Jordan Armstrong as Caleb Taylor will check in. And for the Broncos, Sam Hunter checking in for the first time. And the second free throw good by Carpenter. He went 1 of 2 at the stripe. Neither team has really been knocking down a lot of free throws in this one. 43-41, Broncos with the lead. As we tick down toward 14 minutes to play from Royal Brome Pavilion in Seattle. First of 4 games over the next 2 nights. And as I mentioned, SPU will see Dominguez Hills on Monday as well. There's a three from Jordan Hansen from the left corner. And the Cougars go back in front, 44-43. This one down low for Carpenter. Nice dish there as Winfield was cutting on the baseline. And Carpenter finds him. Winfield with the bucket has 14. And the Broncos retake the lead. Maui Z hands it off to Geller. And now gets it back from Hansen. Speaker with a nice find there to Taylor, but getting back over on defense was Winfield. And he gets the block on Taylor. This is going to be a foul called on Hansen. And it'll be Broncos basketball from in front of their bench. Michael Saba comes back in for Jordan Hansen, who I believe has played the whole game until now as he picks up his third foul there. So they give him a breather. Parm with the three on the way, and it's off the front iron, no good. Cougars back the other way. Charlie Geller with it. Gets it to Saba. Cougars down 1. Here's Speaker. And now a 3 on the way from Saba, and that one rims out. Taylor gets in there for the rebound and gets it back out to Speaker. Here's Saba. He's blocked by Winfield. Winfield with a couple of blocks the last couple trips down for the Cougars. And now Parm is able to get the loose ball back. Here's a 3 on the way from Hunter. And he puts it down. Sam Hunter, just checking into the game a moment ago, knocks down a 3 from the left wing. Junior out of San Clemente, California. And it is 48-44 in favor of Cal Poly Pomona. 12 minutes to play here in the ballgame. Saba down low for Taylor in the post. And Geller had it knocked away. Broncos with the steal, rather. Here's Carpenter. And he had it knocked out of his hands. This one's going to go, I believe, back to the Cougars. Either way, it's going to take us to a timeout on the floor. 48-44, Broncos with the lead. 11:48 to play here from Royal Brome Pavilion. We'll be right back. Back inside Royal Brome Pavilion in Seattle, Cal Poly Pomona with the lead over Azusa Pacific, 48-44, with just under 12 minutes to play. As the last play there, I think the Broncos lost it out of bounds. And it's going to be Cougars basketball, and it is. Cougars down 4 now. And trying to get back within a possession. This has been a tight ball game all the way. Maui Z will get it in the high post to Saba. And now back to Z on the left wing. Speaker. Cross court for Saba. And Z going to take a long 3 from the left wing, and that one no good. Taylor tried to tap it out, but tapped it to Lewis Cooper for the Broncos, and here they come the other way. Smith with it. We'll get it back to Damare Lewis Cooper. Just over 11 minutes to play. Broncos a 4-point lead. Here's a 3 from Broadus, and that one gets up on top of the backboard, and they will blow that dead. It'll be Cougars basketball. As Zach Broadus had that one rim out and land up on top of the glass. And the Cougars will get another opportunity, down 4 here. Saba cross court, and he overthrows Gales out of bounds. Just a little too much on that one from Michael Saba, and he will check out now as Jordan Hansen coming back in. Pace of the game has slowed a little bit here in the second half. 15 lead changes, though. 10 in the first half. This one knocked out of bounds by Hansen. No, they're going to say that it was last touched by Sam Hunter. As Hansen got a hand in there, but then Hunter was the last one to deflect it out. Cougars still down 4. And Z with it. Gets it to Gales. He's going to take an open three. That one rattles in. Did look like it was off the mark at first, but that one hung up there and rattles in off the glass. And the Cougars back within a point, 48-47. Chris Gales, the former Bronco. Demario Lewis-Cooper steps between a couple of defenders and can't get the shot to go. They're going to get a foul on Caleb Taylor here coming over the back of Kevin Smith. And the Broncos will inbound up a point with just over 10 minutes to go. Hunter to Broadus. And now Lewis-Cooper with a nice dish there, but Smith couldn't hold on to it. Had it poked away. And the Cougars back the other way. This is a three on the way. And it's good for Jordan Hansen. Jordan Hansen playing in his hometown as well. It is 50-48. The Cougars have retaken the lead. Before Maui Z was here at SPU, he was at Bellevue College. And the Cougars with another player that was formerly at Bellevue College has not been in the game, Logan Stepniak. This one down low, and the shot is off the mark, and the Broncos get the rebound, bring it back the other way. The Falcons have a couple of current players, the SPU Falcons, that is, that transferred from Bellevue College. So it's a junior college, community college, really, that has a great basketball program that is kind of a feeder for some schools on the West Coast. There's Hunter with the turnaround jumper from the baseline. We're tied at 50 with 8:30 to play. And the pass coming out to Gales, and now Maui Z. Comes back to Z with 8 on the shot clock. He drives, kicks out for a three from Hansen, and that one no good. Rebound to Taylor, and he can't get the offensive put back to go. And the Broncos with the rebound. 8 minutes to play. We're tied at 50. We're tied at 33 at halftime. Smith and Taylor gets in there, but there was a foul first. And this one going to go on Maui Z. 7:55 rather to play in this one. 50-50 is your score. We'll be right back on the SPU webcast.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Back inside Royal Brome, a good one here between Cal Poly Pomona and Azusa Pacific. We're tied at 50. And there have been, according to my stats here, just 3 ties in the game, but 16 lead changes. As that sounds about right. The 16 lead changes, the 3 ties sounds a little low, but that's what we have. We're tied now. We were tied at halftime, but yeah, a lot of back and forth Either team going up by a point or two. As Smith misses on the free throw. Neither team has shot the ball well from the free throw line. Neither team has really shot a lot of free throws either. And Kevin Smith gets the second one to go. He goes 1 for 2 at the stripe. As they are now, the Broncos, 3 for 6 at the line. And the Cougars still 0 for 3. That one out of bounds as Hansen overthrows Gales. That looked like a sideline route in football. Gales unable to come down with it. And the Broncos, with a 1-point lead, get the ball back. Here's Parm. Now Carpenter will kick it back out to Parm again. Parm weaving through traffic. Gets it to Miles Lewis, cutting baseline, and he reverses it up and in. And Lewis with his first 2 points of the ball game. 53-50, Cal Poly Pomona with the lead. Here's Ethan Speaker for the Cougars. And now Maui Z with it. 7:10 to play. Speaker, corner 3, and that one is off the mark. And Speaker has not shot the ball well tonight, as that one is out of bounds. It'll stay with the Cougars. Ethan Speaker now 1 for 6 from the floor. Z, turnaround 3. That one goes down. And Maui Z with 20 points here in his old home gym. And we're tied at 53. Here's Lewis Cooper maintaining control. Gets it to Lewis. Lewis a little short. Carpenter trying to keep it alive, and it ends up in the hands of Michael Saba. Make it Logan Stempniak, rather. Saba is 0. Stempniak is 1, and I was mentioning him earlier as a player from Bellevue College, from nearby Kent, Washington. Stempniak is, looks like Stempniak, but it's Stempniak is how they have it on the pronunciation guide. As Parm gets to the bucket and leaves it short, and the Cougars back the other way. Z finds Gales going to the bucket, and the Cougars retake the lead, 55-53. Chris Gales with 9 points in the ball game. And here is Lewis getting into the paint. Puts up the floater, and it's no good. It rims out. And the Cougars now a 2-point lead, and under 5:40 to play in the ball game. Z thought about it and threw it away there. He thought he had Stempniak cutting into the lane. It's a turnover, and Miles Lewis lays it up and in. And we're tied again at 55 and a timeout with 5:28 to play in the ball game. 55-55. This one has been tight the whole way. As we will step aside here on the SPU webcast. We'll be back in just a moment.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, and the Cougars will inbound. And the Broncos pressing here in the backcourt, but the Cougars able to get it across. Gales, and he lost it, taken away by the Broncos. I think Carpenter was the one that forced the turnover there. Here's Lewis Cooper. Gets it to Carpenter. And now Jaden Winfield going to take a three, and that one's off the iron. And coming over the back there was Caleb Nelson. That's his first foul of the ball game. Caleb Taylor will come back in for Logan Stempaniak. Under 5 to play here. First game of the season for both of these teams, neutral site game. Maui Z, though, with the home court advantage, as he has played a bunch of games here. This one knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Azusa Pacific. And it'll be Jordan Hansen to inbound. Hansen from here in Seattle, too. Not sure that he's played on this floor. Possibly, but not likely in a college game. This one, they walk with it, and it's a turnover. And the Broncos will get it back. As Kevin Someth checks back in. And he'll inbound to Demarie Lewis Cooper. Here's Shaheem Parm. Lewis Cooper drives into the paint, puts it up, and couldn't get it to go. And the Cougars with the rebound, 4:15 to play. Just 22 points per team here in the second half after we played to a 33-33 tie at halftime. And Z had that one poked away. Here come the Broncos. Back the other way. Parm takes it to the bucket, puts it up and in, and draws the foul. And I think that's going on speaker. Parm now with 11 points in the ball game. This will take us to our final media timeout at the 3:55 mark. And that foul does go on speaker, just his first. We will step aside here on the SPU webcast one more time and be back in just a moment, maybe a few more times here the way this is going. Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, 3:55 to play. Shaheem Parm going to the free throw line here. As the sophomore out of San Bernardino will step to the stripe. Not a lot of free throws have been shot in this game. Parm knocks that one in. And the Broncos now just 4 out of 7 from the free throw line. The Cougars just 0 for 3. They have still not hit a free throw tonight. Here's Speaker, and Parm comes over for the block, but they're going to get a foul. And that one's going to go on Semeth. Broncos by 3. But the Cougars will get to the line. Ethan Speaker gets to the line here. 4th team foul on the Broncos. The Cougars have committed 7 here in the second half. And so the Broncos are in the bonus. Speaker knocks down the first free throw. That's the first free throw made by Azusa Pacific tonight. And Speaker lines up another one, and he misses on that one. Neither team has shot many free throws tonight, but neither team has shot a very good percentage either. But the Cougars with the offensive board. Here's Caleb Taylor, and now Gales sets his feet and puts it over the rim. Right to Hansen, and he will turn around and rim that one out. Broncos with the rebound this time, a 2-point lead for them. 3:20 to play. Here's Parm. Gets it to Lewis Cooper. And now Winfield. Winfield with 14 points in the ballgame. Parm puts it up. Couldn't get it to go. And the rebound by Semeth. He will draw the foul. And Kevin Semeth out of Geneva, Switzerland will head to the free throw line. Speaker whistled for the foul. And Semeth to the free throw line now. He's 1 for 2 on the night. And misses on that one. Charlie Geller will come in for Chris Gales. And Semeth back to the stripe. Second one is off the back iron, and it does not go down. And the rebound to Jordan Hansen. So Semeth goes 0 for 2 on that trip. And as I mentioned, not a lot of free throws have been shot, but that's the kind of thing that can swing momentum one way or the other late in a ball game like this, in a tight game. Geller gets it in the post to Speaker at the free throw line. Spinning. Tries to put it up. Did get it up on the glass, but missed the shot. Taylor couldn't follow up on the rebound there. And we get a foul called on Taylor. And that'll be his second. And it's going to send Semeth right back to the free throw line, where he just went 0 of 2. They'll get another crack at it here, as that's the 9th foul on the Cougars. Semeth with a 1-on-1 situation here. That one is good. And the Broncos with a 3-point lead now, 2:35 to play. Semeth, another one up, and that one rattles home as well. So he went 0 for 2 a moment ago, 2 for 2 on that trip. And the Broncos lead it by 4. He'll check out, and Jordan Carpenter will check back in. 2:35 left. Cougars with Maui Z at the controls, and he will get a timeout called as he crosses half court. 2:28 to play here from Royal Brown Pavilion in Seattle. 60-56, Cal Poly Pomona on top. And this is going to be a 30-second timeout, so we will keep it here. As Maui Z with 20 points in the ball game, a lot of those in the first half. I believe he had 14 in the first half, if my memory serves me correctly. Jaden Winfield with 14, and Shaheem Parm with 12. Kevin Semeth knocked down a couple of free throws there. He's just got 5 points, but he's got 9 rebounds and 5 assists as well. Has a steal. And so Semeth really has contributed on the stat sheet for the Broncos tonight. Maui Z has 8 assists, but he also has 8 turnovers. And Jordan Hansen, 12 points, 5 rebounds. Cougars need a couple of, well, still plenty of time here, but they need They're down 2 possessions, so they need some clean possessions here. Speaker gets it out to Geller. 3 on the shot clock. Geller steps back. That one off the mark. And it's going to go to the Broncos as a foul called. Did they call a foul? I don't think they called a foul on the Cougars. They just said that it was last touched by the Cougars. Looked like it was still on its way out of bounds, but maybe Speaker got a foot down and had the ball. Either way, the Broncos with possession now, under 2 minutes to play, and the Broncos with a 4-point lead. Chico State and Seattle Pacific coming up next. Here is Demarai Lewis-Cooper, and that one off the back iron. Rebound to Ethan Speaker. Neither team quite able to put the other one away. Z, cross court for Hansen. We'll get it back to Z. Now Speaker. And it's knocked away by Demarai Lewis-Cooper. He comes up with the steal. 1:22 to play. Broncos by 4. And we get a whistle. And a foul called on Gales. Chris Gales Jr. commits the foul. That's just his first. But it will send Demarai Lewis-Cooper to the free throw line, as he has not made a trip to the free throw line yet tonight, and he knocks in the first free throw. And the Broncos now a 5-point lead, 61-56, and there is a 6-point lead for Cal Poly Pomona with 1:18 to play in the ballgame. Neither team has led by more than 6. Good pressure there by the Broncos, but the Cougars get the timeout called with 1:10 to go. And let's see here whether this is a 30 or a full timeout. The Broncos are standing. Now they're going to sit down. This will be a full timeout. So we will take one more break here on the SPU webcast. 1:10 to play. Cal Poly Pomona by 6.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Back inside Royal Brown Pavilion, Greg Sexton with you on the SPU webcast. It's been a good first game of the season here. Cougars down 6 though, and just over a minute to play. They've gotten a lot out of Maui Z tonight. In fact, he's been out there the entire time. Caleb Taylor catches it in the post and gets fouled. And the foul is going to go on Jordan Carpenter. That'll be his second. The Cougars, or the Broncos rather, in the double bonus, they still have fouls to give though. That's just the 5th team foul. Here's a 3 on the way from Gales. That's off the back iron, no good. Rebound comes down to Winfield. He took it away from Taylor. And the Broncos with possession, 45 seconds to play. If you're the Cougars here, then now Maui Z commits the foul on Demarai Lewis-Cooper. I was going to say, you got to think about fouling to extend this game, as the Broncos were going to be able to run the clock down to under 20 seconds left if they held the ball for the entire duration of the shot clock. Here's Lewis-Cooper at the free throw line, puts in another one. And Demarai Lewis-Cooper has come up with some good plays down the stretch. A steal and now 4 for 4 in the last couple of minutes at the line. He's got 12 points in the ball game, and the Broncos, with the largest lead for either team tonight, they lead it by 8. That one off the hands of Ethan Speaker, and this ball game is looking like it's going to go to the Broncos. 8-point lead with 28.8 to go, and this is going to take some doing here for the Cougars to get back into this one. I've seen it done. I witnessed a team come back from down 10 with, I believe, 26 seconds left. They had a couple of steals and a couple of threes and some missed free throws in there as well. But not a missed free throw there. Caleb Nelson puts in the first, puts in the second. It is a 10-point lead for Cal Poly Pomona as they have pulled away here from Azusa Pacific. Azusa Pacific, just a few too many turnovers as Hansen gets into the lane, could get the shot to go. Taylor will get it out to Ethan Speaker for a 3. That one off the back iron. Taylor taps it up and in. 7 seconds to play in the game. And Cal Poly Pomona with an 8-point lead, 66-58. As they are going to go to 1-0. And they will see Seattle Pacific tomorrow at 7:30. Azusa Pacific is going to play the 5:15 game again tomorrow. And they will get Chico State. Cal Poly Pomona with an 8-point lead late in this one. 7 seconds on the clock. So it's just a formality here. Cougars already onto the floor, and now the Broncos break their huddle. And it's going to be inbounded by Jordan Carpenter. And the Broncos will just get it in, and we'll see if the Cougars, Lewis Cooper lost that one out of bounds. And so the Cougars get it back. Not going to make a difference, though. It's still a 3-possession game with 4.5 seconds left. But Lewis Cooper was looking down the floor and forgot to collect the ball first. As Saba will check in for Caleb Taylor. And now Kamansky of the Broncos wants to take a timeout. And this will be a 30, so we'll keep it here. As Greg Kamansky wanting to talk to his team one more time before this one is over. It's irrelevant at this point, as well, maybe not to him, but it's an 8-point lead, so this one is going to go in the win column for Cal Poly Pomona, as they will go to 1-0 on the season. And Azusa Pacific is going to drop their first one here in the 2024-25 season. That one was inbounded by Hansen, and he hit the rim as he was trying to pass it. Ended up hitting the rim, and kind of a strange ending to this one. Was close all the way until Cal Poly Pomona kind of ran away with it at the end. Not exactly ran away all the way, but it's a single-digit final margin. Cal Poly Pomona takes it by a count of 66-58. Let's get you some of the stats from this one, and we'll get off of the air here. We'll get the second game coming up here in a little bit, and it'll be a 7:30 tip. They will get that one started on time. Cougars shoot 42% from the floor, the Broncos 40%, and the Cougars outshoot the Broncos from beyond the arc. But the Broncos got to the free throw line quite a bit late in this one. They end up going 12 for 17 from the stripe, and they knocked down a bunch of them late in the game. The Cougars went just 1 of 5, and that's 20%. That is not going to get it done. that really was kind of the big discrepancy late in this one. Cougars turned it over 19 times as well. That's another big discrepancy, as the Broncos turned it over just 9 times. So plus 10 turnover differential there for the Broncos. And they come up with 11 steals to just 5 for the Cougars. Individually, Jaden Winfield with 14, Shaheem Parham with 14, and Damari Lewis Cooper with 10. And he was big down the stretch. They have him on the stat sheet here for 2 for 2 from the free throw line, but he went 4 for 4. They gave his free throws to somebody else. But those players getting it done. Kevin Sameth with just 5 points, but he had 9 rebounds and 5 assists. And for the Cougars, Maui Z played all 40 minutes, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, but he had 8 turnovers as well. Ethan Speaker just 3 points, he had 8 rebounds, and the Cougars get 12 points and 5 rebounds from Jordan Hansen. They get 6 points and 8 rebounds from Caleb Taylor. That'll do it here from Royal Brown Pavilion. We got another one coming up at 7:30 will be the tip-off time. Seattle Pacific going to take on Chico State. And we'll sign off on this one. We'll have a new link for you for the next one, as we will go ahead and sign off here. 66-58, Cal Poly Pomona defeats Azusa Pacific.